Watching wrestlers on your TV hitting unique finishing moves is a part of the appeal. But in today's day and age, we see so many of the same moves. They could be unique to other wrestlers, but we could see variations of wrestlers hit these moves. For example, Jeff Hardy's Swanton Bomb, we now see the likes of Alba Fire / Kaylee Ray, Kevin Owens hit these moves. Eddie Guerrero and Rob Van Dam's Frog Splashes, we've seen Mercedes / Sasha use it. We've seen Seth Rollins use it. Hell, we've even seen Kevin Owens use the Frog Splash. When I ask people, what is the one move that you wish wrestlers would stop using, I see a lot of people say the Superkick, aka the sweet chin music. And I agree. I agree to an extent. You know, Shawn Michaels, that move was very iconic to Shawn Michaels. The sharpshooter, we've seen that move utilized by many people, mainly people from the Hart Foundation. But let's not forget The Rock has also used the move. We've seen The Rock use the move before. But yeah, like when it comes to the Superkick, I absolutely agree. I think the Superkick is one of the most overused moves in professional wrestling. And that was kind of one of the main reasons I didn't like the Young Bucks. Because that's all they ever did in their matches, was just hit Superkicks. It was a part of their gimmick, Superkick Party. It was a part of their thing, so you're just seeing them just hit Superkicks all the time. It's almost like you're holding a controller in your hand and you're hitting the same buttons over and over and over again. That's what it feels like to me when I see wrestlers constantly do Superkicks. It's like I'm watching them press the same button over and over and over again on a controller. But one of the other moves that I think fans are beginning to really overlook as another move that is being overused so much, and it's gotten to the point where the fans kind of don't even notice it. That, my friends, is the spear. The spear is becoming the next Superkick. Because I swear to God, I see so many wrestlers hitting this move, it destroys the appeal of this move. Obviously, it's synonymous with Roman Reigns now. But I just want to get this off my chest here, that I think the spear is the next overused move, and I kind of wish this move would just go away. I want this move gone. I like, the next batch of wrestlers that should come in, I would make a rule saying, come up with your own moves. You're not allowed to hit super kicks, and you're not allowed to hit spears. Come up with your own moves. Because I swear to God, these are the two moves I see wrestlers hit all the freaking time. I can't name all of them. I can't name all the wrestlers that hit super kicks. It feels like 90% of the wrestlers hit super kicks. But we're here to talk about the spear! 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 As the topic of today. A lot of people, when they talk about the originator of the spear, a lot of people tend to kind of argue between Goldberg and Edge. So, depending on your preference, that determines who was the first person to hit a spear. In my opinion, Goldberg was the first guy to hit the spear, so I consider him the originator. We then see Edge start using this move as his finishing move. Now, to WWE fans that may not have watched WCW, to them, Edge was the originator of the spear. Now again, I wasn't watching during the Hulk Hogan days, so for all I know, there could have been a couple of wrestlers from the Hulk Hogan days that could have hit spears. But I never watched that generation. I never watched that time period of wrestling. So anyone who did watch that time period can let me know if any wrestlers from that time period was hitting any spears. But in my opinion, Goldberg was the first guy in wrestling history to hit the move, but Edge was the first guy to hit it in WWE, depending if nobody hit it during the Hulk Hogan era. And I don't think anyone did. Then eventually we started seeing Batista hit the spear. Batista was another guy who hit the spear. He started using the spear sort of like as like a signature move, not exactly as a finisher, but there were times he did win with the spear. We started seeing Batista use it. Rhino, he used it. His version of the spear was called the Gore. But many can argue that Rhino was the guy that first used it. For those who watched ECW back in the day. Actually, Rhino was the first guy to hit the spear. So we can all kind of get our opinions out there, depending on your preference. So that's three guys we've talked about already that have already hit the spear. Well, Batista, that's 4. We also have... There might have been a couple of other guys. Maybe during my era growing up. But when I started seeing the spear again, well, obviously Edge, but the first female athlete to start hitting the spear was Caitlyn. Now, in my opinion, Caitlyn's version, obviously because AJ Lee was the one that was selling the move, she was the one that got hit by it the most, but I think Caitlyn's spear was the most devastating. Caitlyn, her version of the spear was pretty good. Now, her original finisher before that was a reverse DDT. It was like grabbing them like this and then dropping them back like that. Now, I wouldn't have minded that as her finisher. But many people would say, oh, I can't see that winning championships. I mean, there are so many different moves we've seen hit. Hell, we've seen sunset flip power bombs from Zelina Vega. That wins her championships. That's another move I've kind of seen used a bit too much lately. Zelina Vega, Roxanne Perez, and Sky Blue. Sure, that's not many, but we do see but we have seen lots of superstars hit that move over the years. So there's that. So there's that. We've got Caitlyn hitting spears now. We then get Roman Reigns. We then get Roman Reigns hitting spears. We get Roman Reigns hitting them. They've become very more synonymous with him as of late as well. Now, as far as I'm aware, Charlotte Flair is the only other female to hit spears. I don't think I've ever seen any other women outside of Caitlyn and Charlotte hitting spears on anyone. And it's kind of ironic that most people that have been hitting spears are muscular and strong-toned guys. While Edge, I think, is the odd one out in all of this. Well, I think Edge is the odd one out of all of it. And now we get Bron Breakker in NXT. We now see Bron Breakker hitting spears. I mean, come on, really? His finishing move was a Gorilla Press Slam and a Cobra Clutch, or Steiner Recliner, because that was Scott Steiner's move. But ever since he's turned heel, they've been having him use the spear as his finishing move. I mean, do we have enough guys with spears as their finisher already? Have we got enough wrestlers using spears as their finishers these days? And now we get to the last guy in this video. Again, there could have been way more superstars who've hit the spear. But these are all the people that I've seen hit spears. And the last guy recently, Jey Uso. I just want to point out to you guys this right now. If Jey Uso said he wants to put the bloodline stuff behind him, well, I think hitting spears isn't exactly going to do him any favors. I'm just going to be straight up honest. So what happened to variety? What's happened to variety of wrestlers hitting all different kinds of unique moves? When I look at a guy like Grayson Waller, who runs to the outside and does a front flip into the ring and does a stunner, sure, it's still a stunner, but it's by far the most unique finishing move. When I see wrestlers hit unique kind of finishing moves, I want them to feel impactful. Baron Corbin with the End of Days and Deep Six. We've got so many wrestlers nowadays just doing similar moves over and over and over again, and we never see creativity. We never see wrestlers with creative moves. I know they're just wrestling moves, and some of you may say, oh, they're just wrestling moves, man. I mean, I get it, they are. But I don't want to see hundreds upon hundreds of wrestlers doing spears, super kicks. If you're going to have different variety of wrestlers, it should be best that everybody has their own unique move. And that's the thing that annoys me. The moonsault is another move we see used a lot lately. Like from Charlotte, from Io, Chad Gable. And there's obviously a lot more people that have hit moonsaults. Tiffany Stratton. We see so many people hitting moonsaults these days. Super kicks, obviously. I want variety, and I want to see variety. I want to see wrestlers come up with creative moves. I want to see people become creative. I want to see creativity. Look at Gunther, for example. He doesn't rely on the same moves to win matches. He'll obviously win most of the time with a powerbomb, but there are times he's won with a clothesline. There's times he's won with a sleeper. There's times he's won with a finishing move called the Last Symphony. We've seen him win matches with different variety of moves. Also, Johnny Gargano does a spear. His version is a slingshot version, where he's on the apron and he slings into the ring and then spears them. And there's another guy who does a spear who is still out injured, that being Big E, where he runs against the ropes and spears people through the ropes. It's still a spear. It's still a spear. Same thing with Johnny Gargano's. It's still a spear to me. I wish wrestlers would be more creative. I wish wrestlers would be more creative. And it's a shame. It's a real darn shame we're living in a world where wrestling fans just hit the same moves over and over again. And that's the end of this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hit the thumbs up. Let me know your thoughts down below. And I'll see you all next time.